would be, the very knowledge of which lies
Some of these
buried
cats and
beneath
kittens in our
these
shelter
sands.
would have been
Some
thrown
things
into hot
are
water
meant
and
to
boiled
stay
to death.
that way. No. Humans are gifts, destined to be recovered. They speak to us, as you well know. Me? Oh, yes. A hidden one you may be, but not just. Here, dog! Mihal?
Basim. Clear your mind. Al-Ghul's relentless pursuit of the essence of human lives has come to an end. It is a day of victory, not only for those spared of his cruelty, but for the hidden ones. The Order's grand plot in Baghdad may still be a mystery, but we can at least be certain Al-Ghul's role in it has been vanquished.
I believe what he sought to uncover were more strange objects, like the one I took from the Winter Palace. What does the Order want with these relics of the past? And why guard them with so much effort?
You are beginning to ask the right questions, Basim. We shall find the answers together.
Lately, all I have are questions.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Forget I said anything.
How am I to guide you if you will not speak openly?
I have struggled with nightmares. In these dreams, a jinni torments me until I wake up panicked and soaked with sweat. In Alamut, I had nearly forgotten about it. But when I killed Al-Ghul, I felt its presence again. And I am left asking why? Why here? Why now? Why me? Piling questions and no answers. I meant to tell you, but...
You were afraid I would think you weak of mind. We are only as weak as we allow ourselves to be. To shed a weakness, you must do what is necessary to mend that which causes you pain.
Will you permit me a brief respite? I wish to seek out an old friend.
Niha, I remember. She's important to you, isn't she?
She is. But last we spoke, I led her to believe otherwise.
This causes you pain. Then go and heal this wound without delay.
It is extremely similar to
Find me at the
and
highway
the entire
when
Dark
it
Souls
is
franchise. And while Elden Ring was named Dark Souls 2.0, this game received the title of
If
Dark
that
Souls
was
2.
indeed Nihal,
When looking at the
I
game's
have not a
reviews,
clue where
we
she
find out
went.
that the majority of them are worse
Back
than
home in Anbar, maybe.
No, This game received the title of Dark Souls 2.2, but when looking at the game's reviews, you'll find out that the majority of them are worse than the ones for Elden Ring. Which makes sense because it has no open world, but there are some aspects in which Lords of the Fallen exceeds Elden Ring. The first and most popular difference between this game and other Souls-like is the Umbral Realm. If you get killed by an enemy or hold Q while having your lamp, you will be teleported into the world of the dead. Now, not only this is a very cool concept, but it also gives you a second chance and transforms the world around you entirely. This means that in the same room you can have two similar but also completely unique locations. Not only that, but you can also use this lamp in order to view certain parts of the Umbral Realm, which I find amazing in terms of how it looks and the technicality of it. Because by constantly switching between one realm and the other, you can get to places that you couldn't access before. Now, as you already noticed, the Umbral world looks much more disgusting, with lots of eyeballs, spinal cords, and strange goo located everywhere. And that's because Lords of the Fallen is a much darker game than Elden Ring. As if Elden Ring could get any darker, but apparently it can. Although I am not going to use this as an argument towards Lords of the Fallen because some people might not enjoy extremely dark games, although you're playing a Souls-like, what else did you expect? But one thing you can't deny is how mesmerizing this game looks.
Have you
Many
put on
times
my...
during gameplay, I simply stopped and admired the view because of how good it looks. That is mostly due to the fact that Lords of the Fallen is made in Unreal Engine 5, and that's why it looks so beautiful even on normal settings. Yeah, apparently having a 3080 is cringe in 2023. But even on regular graphics, I still managed to take some really cool-looking screenshots with the in-game photo mode. And I am so sad that Elden Ring has no photo mode, because it would have been extremely helpful, not only to make cool screenshots, but also to make thumbnails for my videos. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of options, but that doesn't matter because the game already looks incredibly good. One feature I find really cool is that you can not only take a screenshot, but also save the scene as a 3D picture, which then allows you to take different angles in the scene even though you're long gone from that location. And if you're the type of person who doesn't like taking photos and cares only about the gameplay, this feature is still useful because it is the only way to actually pause the game. So technically, you can use this in order to dodge boss attacks better, or something like that. But that's just a skill issue. However, if you have a skill issue, you can watch my videos where I give tips on how to defeat certain bosses. Another staple of the Souls-like genre is its unique combat, and there are a lot of things to talk about here. First of all, we obviously have unique mechanics related to the realm of the dead, which are these blue and blue creatures that very rapidly heal enemies, making them almost vulnerable. In order to destroy them, you have to use your lamp, but the problem is that when you're utilizing the lamp, you are slow, can't dodge, and you basically suck, which makes gameplay much more interesting, because you can't just run into a group of enemies with a sword that's twice your size and kill everything. You actually have to think about how you're going to approach the fight, and what are you going to do. Another feature that is rather miscellaneous but still extremely helpful is that you can dual wield any weapon you want. And this rather small feature brings much more flexibility in terms of builds. Unlike in Elden Ring, where you can dual wield only weapons that are of the same type. The second combat change I really enjoyed is related to ranged combat. In Elden Ring you have many throwable consumables which, despite being really powerful, have to be crafted, and in order to craft them you have to farm items. And when farming some of these ingredients, you just can't think but ask yourself, what the actual but you don't have to farm anything in Lords of the Fallen because the throwables are infinite. It doesn't matter if you throw bombs, axes, arrows, or balls, they will always regenerate when you rest at the nearest bonfire. And if you want to use more of them, you can consume an ammunition pouch that allows you to fire more. And these ammunition pouches can be very easily brought from any vendor in the game. Another move that I really like is the kick, and unlike in Dark Souls, it has good controls, so you don't randomly execute it. Like, that's insane, the kick isn't frustrating in a Souls-like. Speaking of frustrating things, Bloodborne moment. I mean, remember when you first defeated Melania and activated her rune and thought to yourself, wow, that's just like Bloodborne, I'll be almost unkillable with this mechanic. And then, well, this feature is called Wither, and most of the time you encounter it in the open world. That's because the longer you stay dead, if you can put it like that, the more of your health becomes withered. And similarly to Bloodborne, this mechanic makes
Hi, I'm Jyoti Bakshi, and I'm a senior consultant at an
Why are you dressed like a peasant?
much more interesting, especially if you consider that one block instead of receiving damage, a portion of your health is withered, allowing you to regain it if you're good at the game. But my favorite part about this mechanic has to be that you can apply this debuff on your enemies, meaning that the next time they hit you, you not only get damaged, but they will also get healed.
Why do I know this?
Yeah, overall, I mean, Elden Ring is a fucking masterpiece. It's just, it's Elden Ring and then the rest.
Remember the specifics of its
Yeah,
design.
Even
You have
higher.
spent all this time
Also,
obsessing
here I should
over
probably
this.
mention what actually happened when you died.
Because I
You
too
drop
have
all
seen
the
it before.
I've seen
know
people
not
saying that
where
Lords
or
of
when.
Fallen will be the Elden Ring
Only
killer,
that they
but in
have.
my opinion, we haven't even
it is,
seen
it
Dark
calls
Souls
to
1
me.
killer made by
I
someone
intend
that
to
is
unravel
not
this
from
mystery
Souls.
and
Oh
so should
shit,
you.
but Lords of the Fallen is a step in the right direction and a fantastic experience
But of
overall.
course.
I've seen people say that Lords of the Fallen will be the Elden Ring killer, but in my opinion, we haven't even seen Dark Souls 1 killer made by someone that is not from Souls. Oh shit,
You really
but
do
Lords of the
spare a
Fallen
thought
is
for
a step in the
everyone,
right
don't you,
direction
Basil?
and a fantastic experience overall.
Araki
I've seen people saying that Lords of the Fallen.
In Elden Ring, you have many throwable consumables, which, despite being really powerful, have to be crafted.
The
And
order of the
craft them
ancients are far from defeated.
And when farming
Master Roshan is certain to have a plan going to approach
finishes,
us.
which will be the case with
And perhaps I should look into Nihal's obsession. It seems Nihal is trying to discover the
This
location
is
of a
especially
secret
funny
chamber.
if you go to a location where enemies are 50 levels higher than you. We talked a little bit about it.
When Elden Ring first came out in February, I thought I would never stop playing. With how much replay value games like Bloodborne and Sekiro gave me, I could only imagine how long I would be playing Elden Ring with its vast open world and hidden secrets. But, to my surprise, it wasn't long. To be fair, in my first playthrough of the game, I clocked in probably double the hours of any other games in the series, but playing through it again just felt a little bit different. Something had changed. After some careful consideration, I came up with 3 reasons why I already quit playing Elden Ring. Number 1, the open world. While I think FromSoft's attempt at creating an open world was incredibly successful, it also came at a price. It sacrificed the replay value that other Souls games have due to its layout within the open world. To be fair, this is how most single-player games are. You play through the game once, and that's totally fine, but the amount of content Elden Ring brings to the table, one playthrough is more than enough to get your money's worth. Which is why I don't have any real gripes with the game in comparison to other AAA titles. The problem lies within my expectations of a From Software experience. With the way the world is structured, once you've been to an area once, it's hard to feel the need to do anything there again unless you need a specific item. Once you know what an area such as Caelid has to offer, are you really going to go through it again and willingly fight every single enemy? Most enemies drop an incredibly low amount of runes, and the only real incentive for fighting them is there isn't. There's little reward for fighting enemies instead of just running past everything to the next side of grace, which puts a huge dent on the replay value in this game, considering that that's the element that made these games successful. Bosses are the only real way to get a substantial amount of points to level up, but we'll get
I have found buildings in 3 districts that are most unassuming. Ebed and Rebecca have arrived from Alamut and set off to El Abyssiya and Garha. I will make my way to Sharqiya shortly.
And I will join Rebecca in Karch, where corruption is as common as the arid air. See Abu Jafar about some things he's been working on. Then come find us.
Have a look, Basan. I may have something that interests you.
This should serve me well. My
It's Abu Jaf. Oh, you jest.
every now and again. Araka lahikan, Abu Ja'far. Keep well.
And you, Basan.
No contracts.
وعندما يعود أبي من الحج ما الذي
Hey, stand back.
حسنا انظروا من أتى.
Did you choke yet?